Hi, I'm Brett, and I'm about to talk about what I thought was the best thing about Captain America: Civil War. There's a lot to like about this film, but my favorite thing, the thing that I loved about this movie, was not the introductions of the new characters or the plotting or the scripting or the acting, although a lot of that was great in my opinion. What I loved was the man on the marquee, the hero from the past, who I think has a lot to say about our present and about our future, the true superhero of this movie, in my opinion. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Superhero stories, I think we're drawn to them, and I think we love them in this particular era because of the fact that we as individuals and as a society are coming to understand that we are very powerful, that we have so much potential within us to create and destroy, to do things that we might not have ever believed that we could do. And I think superheroes and superhero stories help us kind of process and think about that, because here are these characters. Sure, they have fantastic powers that we may never have in our life or don't believe we have, but those powers are symbolic of the power that we actually do have. You can read the news and see the things going on in the world and the things we're creating and doing, the power that we have through science and technology and through politics and the resources that we have in the world. And you can see that as a society, as nations, and as a world, we are very powerful to build and to destroy. But as individuals, we are also coming to this place in time where we have these kind of godlike powers. I mean, I think most of us have this like semi-addictive relationship with our mobile devices. You may be experiencing that at this very moment, that little twitch to go to your device. And I think the reason is because it's the closest we've ever come as individuals to having kind of godlike power. I mean, you can know almost anything there is to know in the human experience and human knowledge within just a few seconds on Google. You can look across the world and see things all over the place and connect with people and know what they're doing. Not just people that are in your neighborhood or in your presence, but people around the globe. In an instant, you can find that out. I mean, that is godlike power. And so I don't think it's that strange that we have this compulsive desire to be engaged with that. And it's hard for us as human beings to disengage from something so powerful. But the question becomes, okay, if you have this power, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to use this power? Are you going to use it for good, or are you going to use it for bad? A few weeks ago, I made a little video about the movie Batman vs. Superman. And for me, the heart of that movie was the fact that people in our world that often we look on as enemies or that we need to be in conflict with, the truth is that we are more similar than we are different. We are so alike. We are so interconnected. We need each other so much that the fighting is really built on illusion. It's built on selfishness. It's built on ego and misunderstanding. And I think when we reach the point as individuals where we can open ourselves up emotionally for a moment and see that that other person is not so different than us, we really are the same, then it opens us up to seeing each other as friends, as allies, and we can work together to accomplish great things in the world. And I think there is a level in which, as my heart was kind of open to that idea a few weeks ago, I kind of took that mentality into watching this movie. And as I watched Captain America in this movie, he was really my favorite thing about this movie. He was really, for me, what I thought was best and most inspirational and most heroic in watching this film. And what really stood out about his character and about his behavior consistently in this movie was the desire that he had to see the best in people. If we are going to choose and if we are going to believe that we are the same and we can be heroes together in the world, the first step towards making that a reality is to be willing and open to see the best in each other and to believe the best in each other, even when it looks like there's so much darkness. You look at that relationship between Captain America and Bucky, and it sure looks in this film, like Bucky, has done some really terrible things and is a villain. But you find out very quickly, at least from Captain America's perspective, as you look at it, that Captain America doesn't see Bucky as a villain. He chooses to see the best in him. And I don't think we can create a world where we are linking arms and fighting together to do good things unless we will first make the commitment to do that with each other. There is this image in the film that is so powerful to me, and it was the moment in the film where I was touched by it. And it was when Bucky is trying to escape, and he's in kind of a brainwashed condition. And this is in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, this image. And Bucky is in a helicopter trying to escape. And Captain America grabs one of the landing pads or whatever of the helicopter, and he's holding on to it with one hand, and with the other hand he's holding on to the building that the landing platform is on, trying to hold that helicopter from taking off, trying to keep Bucky from escaping, trying to hold him, the two of them together, trying to keep them together. And he's doing it because ultimately he believes that Bucky is not a villain and that he can help, they can ally together and he can help him. And there's something so powerful in that image of Captain America being almost like torn apart, being willing to be torn apart and to suffer and to hurt in order to do that, to keep him there, to keep him together, to fight for what he believes can be and should be a unity between the two of them. And I look at that in my own life, and I think about how often there are times when, circumstances or judgments or things that I see in someone else cause me to want to judge them, cause me to want to say, well, they're not as good as me, or they are the villain, or they are wrong, or they are evil, or they are not as good as me. And my first reaction is to be, is to either lash out and to say, here's why you're wrong, or here's why that's wrong, or here's why that's no good. And it's so easy in our world of social media to just, in 5 seconds, tell them all the reasons they're stupid and wrong and why you're right and all of that stuff. It's so easy. But the harder thing to do is to hurt about that, to experience the pain of saying, you know what, I want to live in a space of unity. I want to live in togetherness. And so even though it's kind of hurtful to me in this moment, I'm going to believe the best about you. I'm going to trust that your heart is good. And even though it hurts me a little bit, even though it kind of tears me up inside, I am going to choose to stay with it. I'm going to choose to believe in you. And that's a hard thing to do, not just on social media, but in life. It's hard in marriage. It's hard with our children. It's hard with the people we work with, to look at someone who we think is just driving us absolutely bananas and is totally wrong and say, you know what? I'm going to choose in this moment to see the light in you, to see the good in you. And even though it's hurting me right now to do it, even though it's kind of tearing me apart, I'm going to make that choice. And that's what I loved about Captain America in this movie. And you see it once I opened my eyes to that reality about what Captain America was, I also saw it in Vision. And I saw it in Black Widow. And I saw it in these other characters throughout the movie who were essentially saying to each other, I know you. I know who you are. I know you're like me. I know we're both fighting for good. I believe in you. I trust you. And even though it's going to be painful for me, even though I might suffer because of it, even though there'll be consequences for me in it, I'm going to believe in your heart and do something that's hard for me to let you go and be yourself and not try to control you and not try to change you in this moment and not try to make you more like me, but instead to trust that there is something very beautiful in you. And I let you be who you are. And I will even fight for you to be who you are, even though it's painful and hurtful for me. If we're going to be heroes together in the world, if we're going to fight together in the world, if we're going to do good things together in the world, we're going to have to bring that spirit. And so I loved watching Captain America do that over and over again in this film. And I loved watching others in this film do it too. If you haven't seen it, I hope that you will watch for that in the movie. And if you have seen Captain America Civil War, when you watch it again, I hope you'll feel that. And I hope it will inspire you in your world tomorrow as you connect with people and interact with people, that you will believe the best and see the best in them. Thanks for being a superhero. Have a great day.